Hello folks and welcome to Tea Time on Vertigo Tea Party. Today we're going to talk about, that's a lot of teas. Today we're going to talk about YouTube and its handling of YouTube content created by its game players. Basically what happened a few months ago was that YouTube started issuing content ID hits on people who uploaded Let's Plays and things like that. Anyone who had footage of Nintendo games on their channel who had their videos monetized. And they let them keep the videos up, but they were taking all of the ad revenue. And in fact, I think Total Biscuit's podcast got hit with this for having like a 15 or 20 second trailer within the podcast where they were talking about a Nintendo game. There wasn't even any audio, I don't think. I think it was just video. Even they got hit with this, so they ended up having to go back and take the video out. And a lot of Let's Players and other people who put up video game content have got hit by this because they have YouTube or they have Nintendo content uploaded to their channel. So, recently what's happened is now YouTube is, or I don't know why I keep saying YouTube, Nintendo is taking a step back a little bit and saying, okay, well, we'll still let you have the videos up, but now we have an affiliate program that you can apply for, and if we approve it, then we'll let you have some of the ad revenue from the videos. Today I want to talk about why Nintendo continues to fuck up. And I want to talk about this because I keep seeing discussions about this on forums, and the problem that I see, there's a huge problem with people discussing two different things. They're talking past each other. There's two main issues here. One, the legality of what Nintendo is doing, and two, how smart of a business move it is or is not. First, let's talk about the legality because this is going to be a very short discussion. The legality of people putting up Nintendo footage on YouTube and making a small profit from the ad revenue is murky. Anybody who tells you it's totally okay or it's definitely not okay is full of shit. Because I've seen actual lawyers, not the internet version, who spent 20 minutes on Wikipedia and now think they understand fair use and all of that. I've seen them argue both sides of this. In fact, I've seen people argue so far as to say that Nintendo or any company that puts a content ID match on a video for video games. We're talking video games here. I'm not talking about music videos or those anime redubs or whatever. But they actually might also be infringing because, long story short, using other content like that would entitle them to a part of the revenues, not the full thing. So they may, in fact, be also breaking the law. But this hasn't been to court yet, and until it does, nobody knows for sure how it will be interpreted by a judge. So we're not going to talk about the legality because we don't know. And pretty much anyone, again, anybody who either side who says they know for sure that videos are covered under fair use, so they know for sure that they're not, doesn't know what they're talking about. Personally, I feel that they should probably be covered, but that's just my opinion. And of course, I'm biased because I make these types of videos. So, again, that's just my opinion. That's not fact. So, legality, let's ignore it. Let's move on to the second point. How smart of a move is this by Nintendo? So, let's say president of Nintendo, he announces, their sales for the Wii U are very, very low, much lower than expected. And during the sales call, he says that he thinks that the main reason that the Wii U isn't selling that well is because the rest of the world outside of Japan is filled with morons who don't really understand how superior the Wii U is. And that if we would stop shoving cheeseburgers in our face for 5 minutes, we would then truly maybe understand the power of the Wii U. Now, would it be legal for him to say that in a sales call? Yes, absolutely. No laws are being broken there. Would that be a smart business move on his part? Probably not. Probably not. And this is where the discussion breaks down. This is where the real discussion is or should be. Is this a smart move by Nintendo? Look at it this way. What does Nintendo get from this? Well, the most obvious answer to that is Nintendo gets ad revenue. So before, when they weren't getting any money from people uploading all these Nintendo-based games onto YouTube, now they're getting all this extra ad revenue, which I have no idea what that's going to total up to for them. Because ad revenue ain't what people think it is. So, but that aside, That's the obvious thing. But is it just about money? Is Nintendo really that hard up that they're like, oh shit, we need another income source or another income source. We need to hit these YouTubers up. We need to get our little piece of the pie of these people making videos of our games. Are they really that hard up for money? I think there's also another side of this. I think the other thing that Nintendo hates to lose is control. I think they hate the idea of losing control of how their games are displayed. In particular, you got to keep in mind, despite trying to get rid of the stigma, Nintendo is still very much viewed by a lot of people as the kids console or the very casual, family-friendly console. So if somebody's got a video up playing Mario Kart and they're cursing and making homophobic and racist remarks while they're playing a Nintendo game, Nintendo could potentially see that as harmful to their family-friendly brand, right? And again, this is just me speculating, by the way. I've heard other people say this too, so this is some brilliant thing I've come up with. It's something that's been discussed. I haven't heard Nintendo say it officially. It's just speculation. But I have to think there's more than money to this, right? I have to think it's not just the money thing. This is them wanting to keep control of the perception of their brand as very family-friendly, very child-friendly. Those are the two main reasons I can see them going for this. A little bit of side money and more control. There might be copyright laws they're worried about, because I know there's the whole thing where if you don't protect your patents, supposedly, or your copyrights and your patents, whatever, they become, less powerful in court if somebody else is using them. Again, we're not really talking about the legalities. Maybe that's another part of it. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, and I didn't spend a lot of time on Wikipedia looking this information up. So I don't even know. Not really going to talk about that side. So that's what Nintendo can get out of it. What's the bad things that can come out of this? First, bad will, or ill will, or I don't know what the words I'm looking for, but you know what I mean. Just the idea that they're so bad that they really need to go after people who create fan-made content so they can say, ooh, give me some of that, it's mine. Like, that's going to put... Nintendo's already not well loved by the gaming community at large, right? They're kind of seen as the other guy. There's the real console wars are between the Xbox and the PlayStation. And Nintendo's like, I might get one for the new Mario Kart or for Smash or something like that. But it's not really considered a contender. It could have been a contender, but it's not. It's seen as that other console. In American politics, it would be like the Tea Party of consoles. That might be a grievous insult to some people on one side of the political spectrum or the console. And I'm not referencing how good the console is or isn't. I'm talking explicitly about the way it is perceived. Also, it's not doing that well financially. That's no secret to anyone. The Wii U definitely is doing very poorly. I'm sure the DS is still selling like hotcakes. I haven't looked at the sales numbers, but every time I check, they're selling very, very well, the DS. So they're not hurting in that arena. So you're going to take people who already kind of see you as out of the race. Now you're putting a negative spin on it. And anybody who's been a gamer for a while knows that Nintendo has always lagged behind, no pun intended, when it comes to the internet. Sorry, my cat's losing her mind. But they've lagged behind when it comes to the internet. You've got those stupid friend codes, like Xbox, you can be XXX, the Reaper XXX, and you just add that to your friends list. With Nintendo, it's like, oh, hey, I'm on Nintendo, add me. I'm 576358999876321. That's easy to remember, right? Like, idiotic. And they're so worried about kids being shown things that they shouldn't be seeing, that they just wall everything off. And maybe the Wii U's a little bit better. I've seen plenty of like dick drawings and whatnot. So they've at least lowered the barrier a little bit there. But they've always lagged behind. And this just builds on that impression of the general public, especially, the general gaming public, that Nintendo just doesn't understand the internet. They're the old man, and it's like, oh, the internet's just a bunch of tubes, and they really give people the impression they don't understand the internet, or that they flat out just hate the internet. Obviously, they don't hate it. They're getting used to it now. I think YouTube or the new Mario Kart's going to have YouTube sharing, I think. So they're finally coming around. But it's been like this for years. Nintendo has always been lagged behind everybody else on things like this. And again, they're just now kind of catching up. It seems like they're catching up faster since the PS4 and Xbox have only recently added things like YouTube integration, things like that. So they're getting caught up fast. But again, this is kind of a step backwards in a lot of people's perceptions of how they're going with the internet. And the other big negative is that, like it or not, a lot of people make their jobs is producing gaming content. Now, we're not going to argue about whether it's a legitimate job or any of that garbage. I would love to tear apart the idiotic arguments about it's not a real job another time. But the fact of the matter is that a lot of people put a lot of effort and time into creating these gaming videos, whether they're Let's Plays or walkthroughs or news videos, whatever. And there's a lot of people out there that enjoy it, and there's money to be made from advertisements and whatnot. So that's a fact, undisputable fact. So you need to keep in mind these people who do this for a living, who's keeping their rent paid, keeping their power on, keeping food on the table. These people have to keep these things in mind. They have to think, okay, if I make Nintendo videos, I might make only a very little bit on ads, or I might not make anything if my videos aren't accepted into their whatever their program is called. So then they might say, well, I'm just not going to cover Nintendo videos. It's not worth the hassle. It's not worth the risk. And frankly, you can't blame people for that. Again, regardless of your opinions on the legitimacy of YouTube making videos as a career, no sane person is going to hold it against someone to say, doing this can make me not make money, and therefore put me in a bad way financially, so I'm going to just do something else. So that's going to be another way that it could very well turn around and bite Nintendo in the ass, is a lot of the bigger YouTubers, especially, again, the ones who rely on it for an income, not do those. Then you have people like me who do things out of spite. Immature, maybe, but I tend to be a very spiteful person. I'll admit that. I don't have a Wii U, and I will buy one eventually because I really want Bayonetta 2. But people like me won't do it just out of spite. Even if I didn't want to put ads in the videos, the fact that they're doing it disgusts me so much that I'm not willing to give them coverage for it. It's more of a matter of a principle at that point. Now, I'm not saying that these content creators should be able to do whatever they want willy-nilly just because, hey, it's free advertisement. I'm not saying that. But I have a pretty small following. But I still hear all the time, hey, I wasn't going to buy this game. I watched your videos. I bought this game because of your videos that I would not have bought ahead of time. I have bought lots of games just because of other people's videos that I've watched, again, that I wasn't that interested in. But then I was like, oh, this looks actually really, really cool. I'm going to buy this. I hear other Let's Players all the time talking about how this happens to them. And I'll read comments on other people's videos and say, hey, I saw you playing this, so I decided to go ahead and buy it. It happens all the time. And yes, it's free. I've seen a few people who actually say, well, it's not free advertising because somebody's making money. That's not what free advertising means. It means it doesn't cost Nintendo anything. And that's a very important point. This advertising that they're getting is costing Nintendo absolutely nothing unless you consider what I talked about before with Nintendo's brand being hurt. Now, Nintendo might put a very high value on that. And that's fair enough. I can understand them being a bit squeamish if they're watching somebody playing, again, some friends playing Mario Kart, a drunken Mario Kart, and they're yelling at each other and swearing and insulting each other and being afraid that some parent is going to be looking for a video or their kid's going to show them this video and they'll just be aghast at, oh my gosh, Nintendo, how does Nintendo allow these videos to stay up? Obviously, no logical person thinks like that, but there's plenty of stupid people out there that think this way, and Nintendo has to worry about them as well. So, while I strongly disagree with that stance, I think it's mostly unreasonable, but I don't think it's entirely unreasonable. But it costs them nothing money-wise to promote. So, but here's the other part. I see this all the time when anything like this happens. People saying, oh, well, this is going to be the end of Nintendo. This is going to hurt them really bad because people aren't going to show their videos and, people aren't going to learn about the games and whatnot. I'll be honest, I would love that to be true. I would love that Nintendo gets this huge backlash. They don't get all this advertising. A lot less people buy the games and they get significantly hurt by it. I'll be honest. I wish that was true because I want them to learn. I want it to hit them where it hurts, which is, of course, finance. In the pocketbook. But it's Nintendo. They're very, very big. They're selling, the reason people buy Wii U's isn't so that they can play Call of Duty on them. They don't buy Wii U's to play Assassin's Creed on. They buy Wii U for Smash Brothers. They buy for the Mario games. They buy it for Zelda games. They buy them for first-party titles mostly, and these throwaway titles that you find in the bargain bin 2 weeks after release. So, Nintendo's in an interesting position where it doesn't matter. Let's say somehow Nintendo was able to take every single Nintendo video just completely off of YouTube, right? They just delete everybody's Nintendo video. Nobody could upload Nintendo videos, period. Would this affect their bottom line? Technically, yes, I think it would. By a significant margin? Probably not. Let's be honest. Probably not. Because not enough people would make their buying decision for a Nintendo game just off the videos. Because again, Nintendo's in an interesting position that people just will buy the system just for these specific games. And unless reviews come out that it's just absolutely terrible, which almost never happens with major Nintendo releases, then they're just going to buy it regardless. So this isn't going to significantly hurt Nintendo, at least in a financial way. I think it's another black eye for them on a public relations standpoint, because this is the same Nintendo who initially said they couldn't broadcast Super Smash. All that hype to get Super Smash Brothers, was it Brawl? Whichever one it was, Melee, I don't know. I don't really follow Smash Brothers, which is a very real fighting game. But it was a big deal that it was going to EVO. I think it was EVO. But then Nintendo's like, no, you can't televise this. We don't give you permission. Like, this old game of yours, you're going to say you can't stream it? Like, absolute idiocy. Again, we're not talking about legalities. Do they have the legalities to do this? Maybe. Is it smart? Shit, no. Under no circumstances is building hype in a franchise a smart move. They ended up backing out because somebody with half a brain said, whoa, what the hell are we doing? And I forget how many people ended up watching the Smash on EVO. I think it was it was something insane. I want to say it was like 90,000. I could be wrong, but it was insane. It was one of the biggest streams I think they've ever done, at least up until that point. It was huge. All of that free advertising, all of that hype for the Smash Brothers series. You can't tell me that this did not create a significant benefit to Nintendo. Getting Smash Bros. In people's minds and thinking, oh wow, this game really does look cool. I heard about it. I'm really interested in the next one that's going to come out for the Wii U. I think there's a new one coming out. Yeah, there is. So it would have been idiocy to not have allowed them to do it. Just flat out stupidity. And you keep hearing these things. Like, Microsoft obviously gets crapped on a lot right now because of all the stupid shit they're done. But Nintendo, man, it's like Nintendo is trying to just one-up them at every turn. And this newest thing, what's funny is I see a lot of people taking this news like, oh, well, this is a step in the right direction. Not really. This is not a step in the right direction. There's one step. You go, you know what? Yes, you can post our videos up. More and more, they're doing the opposite. Most companies, well, I won't say most, but probably is most if you include every single indie company, but that's kind of cheating, let's be honest. a lot of companies are going the opposite direction. More and more game companies are having a website or a page on their website dedicated to saying, hey, you can not only upload, but you can monetize my videos on YouTube or Twitch or whatever. You can show that off and monetize it. We don't care. We give you full permission. Why do they do that? Because they understand how strong this is being, the YouTube thing and the Twitch thing, showing off these games. They understand that a lot of these games are getting super popular because of it. I don't doubt things like Minecraft. I definitely won't say that Minecraft was big because of YouTube and Twitch. I will say I think it helped it a lot. Would it be popular without YouTube? I think it would have still been really, really popular and really, really big. And Notch would still be a multi-millionaire or whatever he is. But I think it would not have been as big of a sensation, if that makes sense. We'll never know, but that's, again, my speculation. So it's a shame to see them going the opposite direction as we see more and more companies giving permission and being completely upfront about it. I get a lot of emails from indie devs, and a lot of times in the email, it flat out says, hey, please, upload the videos, feel free to monetize it. We do not care. Knock yourself out. Because it would be foolish of them to say, oh, you can't monetize this. Because, again, someone like me people like I want to be where I do this for a job, that would be a consideration where I've got 20 other indie games to cover, and this one indie game is like, no, you can't monetize. Guess which one I'm probably not going to make time for. It's a business decision at that point. And again, whether you like it or not as being a business is irrelevant. It's still something that has to be considered. So I find it very, very hard to argue that this isn't a stupid move on Nintendo's part in any way, shape, or form. I don't see any significant positives. If they're making significant money from the ad revenues, either A, more people are watching Nintendo videos on YouTube than I originally speculated, or B, they're not doing that great money-wise. And I don't think that's the case. I haven't read their financial reports. My understanding is overall they're doing okay. It's just that the Wii U's are not selling bad. I don't think they're doing phenomenal overall. Again, I haven't really checked. I probably should have checked before this video. But it just feels backwards, and I think it's just one of those, just another strike against them in the public perception that they don't get it. Like, they don't understand the internet. They don't understand YouTube. They don't understand this whole playing the games online and how this is beneficial both to the person doing it and to the games that they're showing off. So I just think not very, very smart. And again, when you're discussing this online in a very civilized manner, because I know we all discuss very civilly with each other on the interwebs, just keep the arguments separate. Don't talk about the legalities. Make sure that you're being clear that I'm talking about how smart of a move this is. Because everybody who defends this simply says, well, it's their right to do that. Well, first off, no, you don't know that for sure. We don't know that sure because it's not been taken to a court, and it's in pretty gray area. And two, who cares? Who cares how legal it is? In this case, who cares how legal it is? It's about, should you do it? And I would argue very strongly that you probably shouldn't. It can only get you bad things. I don't see anything. I just don't see any positive coming out from this. Obviously they do, because, well, they wouldn't be doing it otherwise. But they also saw a positive of not allowing Smash Brothers to be streamed. So, and that was obviously a very stupid idea on their part that even they realized was not a smart move. Another thing I wanted to talk about here is another concern that I had was, will they start going after Twitch? There's still those rumors going around that YouTube might buy Twitch. And let's even put that aside. Let's say, it doesn't happen, whatever, Twitch doesn't get bought by anybody. Does Nintendo start going after Twitch users? Does Nintendo say, well, you can't stream my games or our games unless you're in our program? You can't run ads or whatever during our games, which would probably just end up meaning you can't play Nintendo games unless you're partnered with Twitch. I mean, that's a whole another ballpark of problems, because now the little guys can't stream Nintendo games, period. And if they get caught, they might get their channel closed, which, again, that would be more ill will. And again, this is all speculation, so just bear with me. But, they could get strikes in their account, or, again, not making money when they're playing Nintendo games, which would probably very much incentivize them to not play games, or even less. It's like, well, you're still making money, we just want our part of it. If you're making significantly less money playing Nintendo games versus Grand Theft Auto, Sleeping Dogs, WildStar, you're probably going to play everything else but the Nintendo games. Probably, for most people. Because, again, they have an income to worry about. And I think, and just very quickly, I want to mention, I think that the money you get from ad revenue is much, much, much lower than people realize. Yes, I'm sure PewDiePie is probably doing quite well for himself. But all these other people who have, 500,000 subscribers, a few thousand views per video, 100,000 views, whatever, these people aren't rolling in 6-digit figures, folks. They're not. Like people like Northern Lion, I have no idea what he actually makes. He's got a lot of followers. He gets lots of views. I feel pretty confident he's not making 6 figures, or probably anything close to that. I could be totally wrong, but I'm pretty sure that he's not. People like Boogie, he's got like over 1 million subs. Do you think he's pulling down 6 figures? Probably not. Again, could be wrong. And please God, don't go to Social Blade and go, well, Social Blade says. It's been known for a while that Social Blade's numbers are off quite a bit. In some cases, sorry about that. In some cases, very, very far off. So, yeah, you're not making a shitload off of these ads in the first place. Unless you have, million views plus per video. And that's a little bit different. But anyway, going back to the Twitch thing. So what if they're like this? What if Nintendo's like, well, you can't stream our games. And if you stream our games, because it's live and it's something that we can't, review, like YouTube videos would be, like they could go and check, oh, you need to take this down. Would they say, well, in order to be accepted as a partner, you have to agree not to say anything negative about the game. You can't say swear words. You can't say this. You can't say that while you play our game. This could open up the door, not just to Nintendo abusing this. If they get away with it, other companies might do the same thing. So, companies that are normally very morally on the up and up, like Electronic Arts, they do the same thing. You know what? We'll let you cover our games. We'll let you show off some Titanfall, but you can't say anything negative about the game, or else you can't monetize, or else we might even get a strike against your account, or whatever. Can you imagine how terrible Twitch would be if more and more companies started to go this route that Nintendo is going, saying you can't monetize our content without our permission? Indie devs would love it. Indie devs absolutely love when Nintendo does dumb shit like this, because that's more chance that somebody's going to play indie games. And if other companies followed suit, you'd be seeing a lot more indie games on YouTube and Twitch, because indie games want the exposure. They know how important this exposure is to their games. And they know that for that one free copy they're going to give me, or this is a better example, the one free copy of this game that they're going to give to somebody like Northern Lion is going to more than pay for itself over several copies, if not dozens of copies, if not, well, maybe hundreds. We're pushing a little bit. But they're going to make their money back easily just giving one copy to somebody like Rockly Smile, or Nerd Cubed, or Northern Lion, or people like that. So they understand the value that these folks bring. And again, I'm not trying to make this, just to be 100% clear, because I've talked a lot about how the Let's Players, the YouTubers, the Twitchers are helping the games industry, helping these games company. I'm not trying to paint this like YouTubers are doing them a huge favor, right? This is not like, well, we're showcasing your game for you. This is a symbiotic relationship. The YouTubers, the Twitchers, we gain money from the ads. We gain viewers who want to check out this video, and more subscribers, which means more ad views, which means more money. So it's helping us, and we get a lot, other little perks. But the companies also get the free advertisement and all of that. So it's both sides, I would say, equally benefit from this relationship. So again, to be clear, I don't think this is a one-way thing. Both sides are, I feel, equally being rewarded for this relationship. And I don't like to see either side take advantage of that. And I don't want to get sidetracked, but for example, I saw one person who does YouTube videos went to the indie dev and said, well, I'll show your game off, but I want a percentage of your profits. Like, that's screwed up. I'm sorry, that's screwed up. Don't screw up this equation. It's already working perfectly. This side equals this side. We're fine. We're good. I'll make some ad revenue. You get free eyeball space. Everybody wins. And Nintendo's like, well, we want to win some more. We want to win even more. And well, you'll get this copper prize, but we want to take home the gold and the silver. Like, it's just stupid. That's just sum it up. Too long, didn't watch. Nintendo is what they're doing legal? Probably is legal. We don't know for sure. Is it smart business move? Absolutely not. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to leave comments in the comments section below. Let me know what you think of this topic in general. I'd really like to do another discussion about, and I think I've done a little bit of a talk about, it being a real job and all of that, and how stupid I think it is if people go, that's not a real job, which I think the whole not a real job is an idiotic argument in the first place. But yeah, I'd like to talk a little bit more about that in detail later on. But anyway, yeah, make sure to follow me on the Twitters. All my links should be on my YouTube page. Follow me if you'd like to see more discussion videos like this, more Let's Tries for indie games and other small games, Let's Plays, all that other stuff, as I try to make this my real job instead of having a real job. Anyway, thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.